Do you ever wonder why your collard greens never turn out tasty? Well, today I'll be showing you the easiest and the simplest collard greens or sukuma wiki recipe, which you're absolutely going to love because the outcome is delicious, it's tasty and not overcooked. And the secret is to watch the video until the end so that you can learn how to make this delicious recipe. You'll start off by buying some collard greens, and over here I have a bunch of collard greens that are clean, ready to make this delicious and simple recipe. Collard greens are green leafy vegetables that are light green in color, and they also have green colored veins. As you can see, they are a good source of vitamin A, C, and K, magnesium, and fiber also. Also, they contain calcium, iron, and folate, which our body needs and are a good source of antioxidants. For this recipe also, I'm going to be using tomatoes, onions, and 2 seasoning cubes, which you can switch with salt. So I'm going to be showing you how to prep your collard greens before cooking. So the first step is buying your collard greens. Always go for the green leafy collard greens. Don't go for the yellow ones because they're not fresh. Now, the second step is to remove the stalk of your collard greens. So you'll hold the top part of your collard green just like this, and then you'll pull on the leaves, as simple as that. So that is what I'm going to be doing, and then I'll show you the next step. It is quite easy once you get used to pulling out the leaves. Here are the stalks, so I'm going to place the stalks aside, and then I'm going to firmly hold my green collard, and using a sharp knife, this is how we do it. This is how I do it, and using a sharp knife, I'm going to chop my green vegetables. That is the fourth step. So carefully, I'm going to slice my collard greens while adjusting so that I don't chop off my hand. Also, you can place on a chopping board if you are not used to chopping your green collards this way, and you'll have some, it will be much easier. But because I'm used to chop my collard greens this way, that's how I'm going to be chopping. While chopping your collard greens, the size matters a lot, because if you chop your collard greens too big, they won't be very delicious, trust me. But slicing your collard greens thinly, the outcome is going to be delicious. Yeah, just try and chop your collard greens thinly. And it will be very easier for you if you're not used to chopping your collard greens this way when using a chopping board. Just go for thin sliced collard greens. When you're done chopping up your collard greens just like this, you're going to move over to your stove top and place a pot or a pan of a medium high flame and add in cooking oil. And because I've already prepped up the rest of the ingredients, that is tomatoes and onions, it's going to be very fast to cook my collard greens. So I'm going to pick a spatula for stirring in my collard greens as they cook. Spread the oil in the pan, and once the cooking oil is ready, you're going to add in your onions. Then you're going to saute your onions until they have a light golden brown color. Browning your onions is going to add in a lot of flavor once the collard greens are done cooking. So as the onions are cooking, I'm going to be adding in 2 beef seasoning cubes. I love adding in beef seasoning cubes, but you can switch with vegetable seasoning cubes and the dish is still going to be delicious. So if you don't have the seasoning cubes, just add in some salt to season your collard greens. So I'm going to crush in my seasoning cubes. Stir in the seasoning cubes, and as you can see, the onions are browning. So I'm going to add in my tomatoes. Then next you're going to add in your collard greens so that they can cook together with the tomatoes. The collard greens cook really fast once you have thinly sliced the collard greens. So I'm going to carefully place in my collard greens in my pan. As you're cooking your collard greens, they're going to wilt down really fast. So at this point, you're going to check the seasoning. If it's not perfect, you're going to be adding in more salt. I need a little bit more salt. And the secret to making collard greens that are not soupy is not to cover while cooking. That is the secret. After around a minute and a half, your collard greens should be ready. So don't overcook, because if they lose that green color, they're going to lose the taste. So don't overcook. Collard greens are very versatile, and the best part is enjoying while the green collards are still hot. So you can serve over some ugali or chapati, and it's going to be fantastic. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll be trying out this easy, simple, and very budget friendly recipe.